Hi everyone, today I'm making taquitos de papa and charro beans. This meal is low carb and low fat. For those of you that are following Trim Healthy Mama, this would be an e-meal. You can find the recipe in the description below. Here is the ingredients for our Masa Wonder Wraps. I also have a small 8-inch pan to make them in. We're going to want to peel the potatoes and get out our seasonings. Also have a pot of water to boil your potatoes. Let's get the potatoes in the pot. Just boil them until tender. Now let's go ahead and do our beans, tomatoes, diced green chilies, seasoning. Now, my family likes lots of seasoning, so that's why I don't measure. I'm kind of heavy on seasoning. And then I'll top it off with some chicken broth. Just give it a good mix. I started out with the lid on, but eventually took the lid off to kind of let it evaporate a little bit so it's not too soupy. Now let's make our Masa Wonder Wraps. It's 1 cup of egg whites, then 2 tablespoons of masa, 2 tablespoons of oat fiber, and we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of water because you want to make sure it's thin enough that it swirls around in the pan. Let's go ahead and season our masa. Just give it a sprinkle. Don't make it too heavy because these are just the wraps. Then give it a good mix. Once I get done with the mixing, I usually let it sit for a few minutes to kind of soak up. Now let's check the potatoes. When they slide off the fork, they're done. We're going to go ahead and drain them and then add them back to the pot. We're going to season our potatoes. I was a little light on the seasoning this time, but like I said, you want to season according to your taste. So just mix it and mash it and give it a taste. If you want more, just add more. Here's our pan. I gave it a spray. We turned it on medium heat. I did 3 tablespoons of masa and swirled it around. Then we're going to let it sit and cook until the edges start to peel up. And the top, you can see it drying up. So let's go over here and mash up our potatoes now. This is going to be a quick recipe. So we're trying to get everything done at once. I also added a little bit of chicken broth to make it a little bit more creamier. So we're doing broth instead of doing the traditional milk or half and half. That way we don't have the extra fat. Now we're going to give the beans a mix. They're looking pretty good. I'm going to leave the lid off and let some of the broth evaporate a little bit. Now we're going to come back here and our Masa Wonder Wraps are done. Should get 6 to 8 wraps out of that recipe. Then we're just going to put a little bit of potatoes on our wraps, spread it out. Then we're going to roll them up. Once I'm done rolling it up, I give it a little squish on each end to kind of squish out those potatoes, and stick it with a toothpick. Make sure your baking sheet is sprayed, and then we're going to go ahead and spray the top of the taquitos as well to help them golden in the oven. I put the oven at 425. Originally I put them in for 10 minutes, but they actually needed 15 to 20 minutes. Here I have some cheese and some cream. Remember, these are your added fats. I just poked a hole in it, makes it easier to drizzle it on your taquitos afterwards. So now that 15 to 20 minutes is up, the taquitos are golden and ready to serve. First, we're going to go ahead and we are going to dish out our beans and get those ready. And here they are. I put some lettuce on the side, topped it with some Pico de Gallo and the cream and the cheese. Thanks for watching.